So this is going to be my first ever YouTube video. Wow. So I really want to make one of those videos where I go, oh man, you guys, I finally made it. I make $10,000 a week selling Pokemon cards, and this is all the tips and advice I can give you, and I've hit the moon. I'm just making money fist left and right. Fortunately, that's not going to be that type of video. This is going to be one of those videos where, yes, I started a Pokemon business. I've been in business for about a little over a year now. First couple of months, I would say first 8 months, I really kind of just kept it as a hobby where I would sell a little bit here and there on eBay and really nothing more to it. And I didn't really start taking it serious till like the past maybe 7 months. And anyway, so this video is more likely going to be me talking about the mistakes I made starting a Pokemon business, and hopefully you guys, if I get any viewers on this video at all, will find value in that and can just, learn from my mistakes. So if you are trying to start your own Pokemon TCG business, you won't repeat the mistakes that I have made. So, God, I don't know. I'm not sure how to really format this video or how I should do it, if I should do it in steps or if I'm just going to start talking it, and if it doesn't do good, I'll just edit it out. So I would say the first mistake that I have made, I would say, would be not really taking it seriously until I was a year in. My first year in sales, I did about 29, right? I did 29 in my first year of sales, which is not bad for a hobbyist. 2,900, not 29,000. My second year, I've already doubled that. I'm sitting at about 5,000 now, and that's with the summer slowdown and everything, which these aren't crazy fun numbers at all. These aren't life-changing numbers, but give a little context about my business, how I started. I literally started with $100, and I have grown that, with $100, and I, escalated that and grown that into the $5,000 in sales that I have now. So that's huge exponential growth, starting with $100 and then growing it to where I am at now. However, some of the mistakes I have made would be, not taking it, like I said, not taking it serious enough, treating it as more of a hobby rather than more of a business, uploading consistently. Like, this is my year, I'm about a year and a half into business, and this is going to be my first YouTube video, if I even upload this video at all. But yeah, not being more consistent, treating it as something fun. I think that if I would have taken it a little bit more serious and been a little bit more consistent with my uploading and consistent with starting YouTube and consistent on all my social media platforms, so far I only really consistently upload on TikTok. I think I would be a lot further than I am right now, and I would, probably have done over $10,000 in sales right now this year if I would have just, used my social media to get my name out there and market myself a little bit better. So next big mistake that I would say that's probably the biggest mistake I have made is over leveraging during the good times and not preparing myself for the slowdown or the bad times. As you can tell, near February, when the 30th anniversary set was announced and Winds and Waves were announced, there was a lot of demand and a lot of hype for Pokemon and Pokemon TCG products in general. And with all that demand, it was very easy to just turn and burn cards an crazy amount, just taking cards for 100% market value and then being able to easily sell them for 110 to 130% market value. It was really good times. I remember coming home every day from my job and just seeing 10 to 20 sales per day, and it was a crazy incredible time. While I rode that wave and I made a bunch of money in that wave, I would say the biggest mistake I made was not really thinking that the good times would just ever stop. Not saying that they have stopped, but my sales for my eBay store have drastically slowed down. Instead of getting 10 to 20 sales a day, I'm looking at maybe 10 to 20 sales every 2 weeks now. And it's a very big drop off. And the biggest mistake I made was over leveraging, buying up so much product. And then now I'm sitting on this product, waiting for it to slowly sell. And my business now is kind of at a point where it's going to start sinking soon if I don't get this product sold to get more money for product. And basically my cash flow has halted to a dramatic point. And this is all because instead of keeping emergency cash on hand to keep buying deals, there's so many good deals right now, I over leveraged myself, bought a bunch of stuff, and now it's just kind of sitting. And now I'm at a point where, do I take a loss on that stuff to get the cash back, or do I just keep waiting until I turn a profit and get my margins? So it's one thing I learned was in the future of my business to not become so aggressive that I basically have all my capital tied up in products that are, while still selling, aren't selling as fast as they were 3-4 months ago when, the TCG bull run was just at an all-time high and everything was just being sold left and right. So that's something I learned, and hopefully you guys can see value in that if you start your own business. Hey, don't spend every cent you have, because when deals are coming, like there's so many deals right now, the new Rayquaza set just released into Japan, and there's so many good ARs in that set and the Mega Rayquaza in that set that I wish I could purchase right now, but I have unfortunately all my capital tied up in other cards that aren't really moving right now. Which now brings me to my third point, which was not really researching the market as good as I probably should have. I bought a lot of cards where I bought it at maybe 80-90% market value, and I try to make margins, would try to sell it at 110-120% market value. And while during the bull run, very simple, when we have more of a slowdown or a bear market, you could say, trying to get those same margins for these cards becomes way harder. A lot of people are now shying away, saying, hey, I want to be saving my money. I really don't want to be buying this stuff right now. A lot of people, start leaving the hobby. A lot of during the summer, a lot of people start doing other things. A lot of people are probably saving their money for the 30th anniversary set that's coming out in a little bit. So it's unfortunate, because I was just buying so many things going, hey, I'm buying this at 95%. I can easily sell it at 120. And while that was good, now that I still have some of those products left, trying to get 120% market, it's now becoming a little bit difficult because of the slowdown. So now I have to either sell it at market or try to fire sell and sell at a loss to get some capital back in the business. So these are mistakes that I have made. Is it unfortunate that I made these mistakes? Yeah, it kind of sucks, because it takes a business that was growing rapidly, and then it just kind of halts it. But that's just the caveat to all this is, at least I have learned. I've made mistakes, and I have learned from these mistakes to go, okay, maybe next time, instead of buying these cards at 95%, maybe work a better deal out, negotiate a little bit better, get it down to 65-70%. So if I do have to sell it at 100% market value, I'm even breaking even, or I'm not losing anything at all. Well, I got even more mistakes. I'm just really starting to think about it now, of other things that I have done. Starting a website a little too early. When the selling was going good and the selling was going great, I really wanted to get into sealed product. I really wanted to start my own website. And I think the main thing I did, which is why I wasn't successful with my website, was that I kind of jumped the gun And instead of creating content and instead of, being consistent with content, I went, made an awesome website, designed it all, put product on there. I didn't really sell the product on there because I didn't really have too large of an audience to get to my website and buy from me. I just thought, hey, it's Pokemon, make a website, put the website out there, people will go, people will buy it. Unfortunately, I did break even, so I didn't lose any money, thank God. I think I only lost money on a couple of the booster boxes from Japan I bought. But I broke even on everything I bought, but I wasted a lot of time, and I did lose a little bit of money on, designing the website and paying for all the domains and stuff like that, and then paying for it to keep it active. I did lose money on that could have been put into product that would have made me margins. So, or could have just grown my eBay store a lot further than it has. So that kind of sucks, but that's kind of what I learned. Instead of going home and jumping into a website, I should have built myself up, built myself on social media, gotten a little bit better at social media, got a little bit better at marketing, instead of just making a website, losing a couple $100 on the website, and then just sitting there and bleed money, and then really not getting anything out of it. The knowledge part was great. I learned a lot that, my order of things, hey, I need to start social media first before I even attempt to make a website. That's knowledge that I have learned. So you could always make the argument that, hey, I spent a couple $100 to learn this mistake. I learned it now, so now I know in the future not to make that mistake ever again. You can always make it from that argument point of view. I guess my philosophy in life is, as long as you're making mistakes and learning from these mistakes, you can still progress and move forward. I've learned so much from starting this business, and even though right now I'm kind of at a point where my business is bleeding because the cash flow is drastically halted because of the slowdown, I have learned so much. And now I can share this knowledge with other people. So if they too want to start their own, Pokemon TCG business, hey, don't make the same mistakes I ever did. Just start slow. Don't over leverage, and build yourself up on your media platform so people know who you are, so they can go buy from you. I definitely need to make another video, because while I have made some mistakes, I have made a bunch of pros, because taking $100 and growing it to $5,000 in sales is no easy feat. That's pretty, in my mind, that's pretty impressive. And if it wasn't for just being blindsided by the money always coming in, I would still be growing right now. So, hey, it's okay. We make mistakes, move on, yada, yada, yada. Hopefully, one of the big PokeTubers can see me and be like, oh, look at that idiot. But all that, I think the final thing I want to say is, I think the final thing of my approach of moving forward of how I'm going to basically save my business and turn it around is rebranding the whole thing. When I started my eBay store over a year ago, I started very, very, very generic. I had this thing called PokeGents. Yeah, PokeGents was my first attempt. And while I liked it, it felt way too generic. It felt too generic for it to be a business. Poke and then a random name is like the caveat that most new business people start. And as I wanted to take this more serious, I didn't want to be another Poke whatever guy is selling. So I decided to rebrand it, and I rebranded it to Pocket Tokyo TCG. And my thought was that, hey, I'm going to import cards from Japan. What's the most famous city in Japan? Tokyo. Everyone knows what Tokyo is. What are Pokemon cards? Well, they're pocket monsters. So Pocket Tokyo and then TCG, so you know what the branding was. I thought it was very clever. I was like, oh, that's crazy. That's good. I like it. And I've been running with that for a good 6-7 months now. But what I'm starting to really realize And what I'm not starting to like about that is, while I think it's great, if I ever wanted to expand outside of, Japanese Pokemon cards, let's say I want to start selling English or Chinese, or maybe I want to start getting into Magic or One Piece, or, other trading cards, or maybe even sports cards. Maybe I want to dabble in sports cards one day. Keeping the name Pocket Tokyo TCG kind of puts me in a niche, a little too sharp of a niche, to where I can't really expand. I gotta just kind of roll the Pocket Tokyo. Well, it's Pokemon, Japanese Pokemon cards, and I can't really expand outside of that because I myself am putting myself in the corner. So basically, what I'm going to be doing is I'm definitely going to be rebranding everything and starting over. I'm probably going to fire sell most of my inventory, take losses on it, get the cash back, and start putting it into newer products that I know I've made margins on. Japanese ARs do pretty well. Maybe trying to build a good position to where I can start maybe buying collections. I know a lot of people are selling off Ascended Heroes to make money for the 30th anniversary. So if I build capital and have my money right, I might be able to get really good deals on Ascended Heroes and might be able to make some margins on that, because Ascended Heroes is a very, very, very good set. And with so many people fire selling it right now, Destined Rivals, I think I heard there's a reprint. So with there being a reprint, this might be an opportunity to buy some Destined Rivals at maybe cheaper market value and be able to make some money off of there. Who knows? But this is my first video. I don't know if I made any good points in there. I kind of just spoke my mind. I'm very good at talking, rambling on. So, maybe I'll start to become more like Rudy from Alpha Investments, where I sit here and I just ramble on for 40 minutes and then I say something and then maybe I'll throw a chair or something, that'll be my video. But anyway, this is my first YouTube video. I think I'm just going to upload it. You don't grow if you don't try. And I'd rather try and fail than not try at all. Because even though it sucks right now to be bleeding out money and cash flow dropping, I've gotten where I'm at. How do I say this? I would have gotten to where I am at if I would have never tried. And now that I have knowledge of what I've done wrong, I can learn from that, tweak it a little bit, and continue to move forward. A lot of businesses fail. First 1 to 5 years, most, like 92% businesses fail. And I think the reason why most of them fail is because people make a mistake and they give up, or they don't really realize how much actual work goes into things like this and they give up, or they don't take the risk to adjust and then they give up. I think that's mainly the main reason why most businesses fail. I know after the 30th anniversary, I know that the bull run's going to be over. We got the 30th anniversary, we got the Rayquaza set, and then after that, I don't think there's really anything on the horizon that could, demand such great hype. I know there is the specialty set Mega X Mega that I think has been teased. So that could potentially, if that's a really godsend of a set, that could continue the bull run past the 30th in the English Rayquaza set. We will have to see. So anyway, this is the start of my YouTube journey. If you guys find any value in this, please subscribe, like my video. It'll be awesome. If you guys want to start your own Pokemon business, hopefully you found value in this video and you could take what I've learned and apply it to yourself so you don't make the same mistakes. To wrap it all up, like, subscribe, see you out there.